So, what if I told you that the story of one small county in Ireland could actually tell us something about the entire world? Today, we're looking at County Louth. It's a community right on the front lines, and they're not just battling rising tides and furious storms, they're also fighting these deep-seated crises from within. Okay, let's get into it.
It really all came to a head with just one single storm. But look, this wasn't just a day of bad weather. No, this was a moment of reckoning. This was a storm that ripped through the county, and in doing so, it tore the cover off of some deeper, much more troubling issues.
And that's the thing. This wasn't some freak accident. What happened in Louth is a sign of a new, way more volatile reality. It's like a powerful preview of the climate challenges that communities, well, everywhere, are starting to face.
So let's start right at the beginning, with the event that kicked all of this off. We're going to look at the immediate on-the-ground impact of a severe weather event they called Storm Chandra, and just see how it brought an entire county to a grinding halt.
I mean, the impact was immediate, and it was chaotic. Major roads like the Armagar Road, totally impassable. The critical Dublin to Belfast train line, shut down. The roof of a community center was damaged, a local school lost power and had to close its doors, and whole housing estates were just flooded. From Ravensdale to Dundalk, the county was underwater. And local businesses, well, they had no choice but to close up shop.
But here's the thing. Storm Chandra didn't create these problems out of thin air. Not at all. What it really did was shine a massive spotlight on the cracks that were already there, revealing a system that was already under some pretty immense strain.
You see, even before the storm hit, big road projects were already in trouble because of funding cuts. New infrastructure ideas, like the cycle lanes on Jocelyn Street, were being called an awful mess by the people living there. And get this, €500,000 in funding for new bus stops just sat there, completely unspent in 2025, all because of delays. The storm, really, just poured gasoline on an already burning fire.
So here's the bottom line. Louth found itself at a crossroads. It was facing all these challenges, from money problems to failing infrastructure, and the county had to respond. And it did. It responded with official plans, new defenses, and some pretty inspiring community action.
And this is where the story really shifts. It goes from one of disaster to one of pure determination. Faced with all this, the people of Louth started to fight back. And we see this two-pronged approach emerge. You've got this top-down strategy from the local government, and then this powerful bottom-up movement from the citizens themselves. So, officially, the main game plan is this, the Climate Action Plan. Think of it as a 5-year roadmap designed to hit some really ambitious national goals, slashing emissions in half by 2030 and getting to net zero by the middle of the century. And you know, this isn't just talk. The council is actually backing it up with real progress. They've improved their own energy efficiency by a massive 55% since 2008. That shows they're pretty serious about getting their own house in order first.
So what does that actually look like? Well, for starters, the council has brought in 22 new electric vans for its fleet, and they've already upgraded 142 social homes to be more energy efficient. These are small, practical steps, yeah, but they really add up.
But the official response is only half the story. This is where it gets really inspiring. Local groups are stepping up in some incredible ways. You've got Drogheda Town FC installing new LED lights and solar panels, which cuts their costs and pollution. Dromaskin Tidy Towns started shredding Christmas trees locally, turning waste into mulch for their parks. And Blackrock Tidy Towns is going all in on biodiversity for a major European competition. It's just a brilliant example of community power in action.
All that resilience is inspiring for sure, but it brings up a really tough question. What happens when a community is fighting a war on two fronts? What happens when the most dangerous storms aren't brewing in the clouds, but within society itself?
Because you see, while Louth was building up its defenses against floods, a totally different kind of crisis was quietly taking hold, one of substance abuse, mental health, and crime. And a really stark symbol of this is the laughing gas epidemic. Officials are reporting that they're finding these little silver canisters littered all over parks and car parks, literally every day of the week. It's such a visible sign of a much, much deeper problem.
And let's be absolutely clear, this isn't some harmless trend. We are talking about severe health risks, nerve damage, frostbite from the canisters, and really serious consequences for respiratory and mental health. This is a public health crisis that's hiding in plain sight. And sometimes this internal crisis explodes into just unimaginable tragedy. The case of Catherine Henry is a devastating example. Her son's mental health was in a severe decline, fueled by drug use. His behavior became more and more erratic.
A warning was actually given to the police about his welfare. And just a short time after that warning, his mother was dead, and he was charged with her killing. It's an absolutely heartbreaking story of how the systems that are supposed to protect people can fail so completely.
So, when you put all of this together, it brings us to this one huge question. When a community is getting hit from all sides like this, what does it actually take to be resilient?
Louth's story shows us a community that is fighting on two totally distinct fronts. On one side, you've got the external threats, climate change, crumbling infrastructure, this immense pressure to go green. And then on the other side, you have the internal threats, drug abuse, organized crime, and the devastating fallout from mental health crises.
And that's where we're left. We've seen the official plans, we've seen the inspiring volunteers. But when a community is facing pressure from the weather above and from these crises within, with stretched resources and limited funding, can those small, vital acts of local spirit truly be enough to build a future that can actually withstand it all? That's the question Louth, and so many places just like it, are desperately trying to answer right now.